Hello, howdy fellas. Hope you're all well. Today we'll talk about a RESTful API, a RESTful Movie API. What makes an API a RESTful API? RESTful is a client-server model that's made up of client server and resources, which managed by some HTTP methods like put, post, delete, get, and some other methods. And here we have an endpoint of slash movie, this application. We made a code along with the YouTuber, and we modify all the code somewhat. So first of all, I want to start with what I did, what I add to actual code. First of all, the YouTuber made everything in a code, just in a file. So I divided them into different files and in different folders also. Here, as you see, I created a controller folder, and inside of it movie.js, and also for the router a routes folder and a movie.js file also here. And for the test, we have some config files here, babel, jest. We added some package also, jest and supertest package. We also installed, as you see, the nodemon to ease out everything for us. And here let's go with the code. As you see in index, I just listen the port, and in the app we created an app with express, and here as you see in the movie.js under the controller, we just created some functions to use different HTTP methods, or HTTP methods defined in the movie.js under the routes, and here routers directs different HTTP methods, as you see. For the post, get, delete, and patch and put methods, we have different functions. Let's start with the create movie function. Here, as you see, when we want use post method, it will launch, it will run the create movie function here. So here we give if we give a movie with a body, so it will create an edit in the movies array. Let me give you an example in the postman. Here, as you see, when I get there is two different movie, and let's try to add one movie here. For example, we use JSON. Here let's add inception 2 here, and without ID we use UUID to generate different and unique IDs here. Let's send a post message here. As you see, inception 2 added movie list. When we get again, we'll see 3 different movie. Okay, let's continue quickly. Here, create movie. So we have get movies to get all the movies, all the array here. No need to control it. Here, a search movie, we give an ID of search a movie. It will return with the status code of 200 the movie. Let me give you example here. Let's get this ID of inception 2, for example, and with URL parameter as a URL parameter. When we try to get again here, as you see, we get one of the movie from movies array. So let's continue with the delete movie. Here I will use again an ID and try to delete it. As you see, for example, when I give a missing ID, let's try it. As as you see, not found in the list. So we give the actual name, the real ID, so it's deleted from the movies list. Again, when I get all the movies, as you see, there are 2 movies. Okay, great. Let's continue with the modify and update. Modify for the patch and update for the put methods. In the actual code, you can find these 2 types of methods. We added here. For example, for the modify, for the patch, let's change something with an ID. For example, here, let me paste the ID of inception. Here I want to, for example, change its name as inception-3 here, and when I send it, as you see, it has been updated. Okay, let me get everything again. As you see, name is changed. For the put method, what is the difference? For example, for the same movie, Inception, when I paste it here and try to put something, will it change? No, exactly no. Why? Because it needs all the properties, title, director, and the release date. So to use put method, we should add all these 3 different properties there. And for example, let me copy paste all of these here, and as you see, when I copy paste the ID of the inception here and try to put and change, for example, the name inception dash 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 55. So when I say, yeah, it's updated. When we get movies array again with the slash movie get method, so it's changed. Okay, then we've finished all the methods here. So what did we do about testing part? We utilize a supertest and the jest libraries here, as you see. We also created some different test patterns, test conditions for both happy and error path. And here, as you see, for the post method, there are 3 different tests. Let's continue with the test. So when I run this npm test, it will run all the tests there. There are 7 tests. 7 of them will probably be passed. We're gonna see, yeah, here as you see, 7 tests, all of them are passed. Let's see what are they. First of all, it should respond with a 200 status code if info is given correctly for the post method here, as you see. For example, here we added, we gave all 3 information about 3 different property about the movie, so it will give a status code of 200. For the second test, we tested, as I said before, we created our post method with it will run a JSON file at the end of the runtime. So the message is the key of that JSON file. So it's defined when it is running. So we checked also this, and it's working. It's tested, and here, and when we gave, when we forget something, there is a missing info, as you see. Release that, it will run 400. For the delete method, as you see, if there is a missing ID, as you see, we gave for also delete, get, post, and patch and put methods, missing IDs here. They will all run 404 codes. So we tested it. We couldn't test actually the happy path because we utilized unique IDs here, so we can take it. So as you see, all 7 codes also passed here. At the end, simply put, this is a Restful Movie API. As you see, we managed, or we handled all the relations, all the requests with the HTTP methods. So thanks for watching.